Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Week. We were a month away from the premiere. Now we're only like 3 weeks or 2 weeks.
You said 53. It's 54, no?
Is this 54?
I think it's 54. Is this episode 54?
You're right. It's 54. Last week was 53.
That's why I had to look at my face and you were wondering what that was.
The very confused look like I was doing something completely erroneous here.
You were. It was erroneous. It was an erroneous number.
I guess I was. Okay, this is Talking Dead episode number 54 for the 26th of September 2011.
That's correct.
Did I get that right?
As far as I know.
Very good. As I was saying, thanks for joining us. We're now, 2.5 or 3 weeks away from season 2 premieres. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. There's lots of news to cover this week. There's something that's probably on every listener's mind, at least to those who are following the news, and we'll get to that, of course. We also have our brief actor spotlight on Noah Emmerich coming up. And we're going to announce a contest later in the episode too.
I like contests.
Contests are fun.
I like announcing them. I like having them. I like hosting them. I like winning them.
Yeah,
I very rarely win them, but I have entered.
Apparently there are people out there that are just generally lucky and tend to win more contests than others.
I think you have to enter in order to win, and I don't do that often enough.
Well, that's the thing. They're not lucky, they just enter. They're professional contest players. However, I have an aunt who has won more than one trip south to parts of the Caribbean and stuff like that.
Wow.
And I don't know that she enters any more contests more than anybody else. But maybe she does. I don't know if she's a bit wacky.
I grabbed one truck once.
A truck.
Yeah, one of those.
Like a cube van?
No, like an actual truck and boat with trailer. She went in the mall into and she entered about, put in enough money to raise money for charity. She put in her $100 and they gave her a truck and boat.
Just for being there.
Just for being there and give them $100.
What did you do with the rest?
I'll show the cash pay up to the actual truck. She just needed the truck and boat.
Yeah, I don't know. She's not going to drive the water and go boat for a while and drive a truck.
That'd be pretty sweet.
We'll see.
It's like $80 or $90 something like that.
That's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. Boats are expensive around here. They're certainly out of my price range. Anyways, let's start the episode this week. We're going to start off a little bit different and play a listener call. So everybody, why don't you please listen to this?
Hey Jason, hey Chris, this is Jason from Brooklyn, creator of the Walking Dead Google Maps. Just listening to your last show, I think it's I'm still feeling blood from the fact that Frank Darabont was fired. I think it's starting to get to the stage, and I just feel really, really uncomfortable that everyone wanted to do this right after scrolling an iconic Comic-Con. This is terrible. Anyway, to answer your question, Bushfire is where I think you're probably going to be filming the show next. You talk about it in close community. Anyway, it's a great show. You guys have been fantastic, and looking really forward to hearing what you guys have to say about the season and whatnot. And I can say that I think I'm probably going to supply the Blu-ray pack that's probably going to be coming out January AMC, but I just have to Walking Dead. That's it. Anyway, take care, guys. Peace.
Thank you very much, Jason. We had him on the show probably a year ago, because he says he's the creator of the Walking Dead Google annotated map. Put all the words in a different order and I think you did the right thing.
Oh, that's right.
Walking Dead annotated Google map.
I would accept it in the order that you said.
All right, which is pretty cool, and I haven't looked at it in a while, so I don't know if he updated it at all, but maybe he's following along. The comic doesn't move that quickly, right? It's location to location. So, yeah, I just wanted to play it off the top there because I've had it for a while now, and unfortunately forgot to play it last week, and I didn't want it to, go unheard. So, a few of the things he mentioned in there, we couldn't remember the name of the housing complex a couple weeks ago. Wilshire Estates is what it is. I did go back and look it up, but he of course confirms that. We'll get into the news section. We'll get into a little bit more information there, as well as some more information about, of course, the firing of Frank Darabont. We have covered ad nauseam so far. It also leads me to my next item here, and it's a big reminder to everyone that I'm coming down to New York City for New York Comic Con in a couple of weeks.
Look out, New York.
I'm super excited, and Jason, if you're gonna be there, we should get together, buy a beer or something like that. Very good. Not you, Jason.
I understand.
You're not gonna be there, sadly.
Where's my beer?
I'll still buy one. Fair enough, whatever.
Only if I go to New York,
That's right. That'll do. So yeah, if you or Jason, you or anybody else is gonna be down there, and you're gonna be going to the con or just hanging out, and together, that's gonna be great. I would love to. I've been in New York before, but I can't say I really know the town that well. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna explore a little bit because I will have time. However, you're gonna get together with some people. Also, I'm going to have some stuff with me. I think stuff in the form of free stuff.
Does that mean that they have to search you when you go across the border?
No, I
Sure.
hope
Not that kind of stuff. What kind of stuff are we talking here?
No, well, I don't exactly give it away, but it's nothing illicit. Come on, what are you taking for?
Well, I'm gonna have some stuff with me.
I'm going to have
wants to meet up.
Wait, that sort of sounds
I
nefarious.
just want to clear the air, make sure everybody understands that none of this stuff is illegal.
No,
Anyway,
it's gonna be good stuff. I'm bringing it down with me. I want to give away people just promotional.
do we use the word swag?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to have some swag with me.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I'm not gonna have a lot of swag, but enough I can wear everything in a suitcase, bring along, getting some special stuff created, and I'm gonna want to be handing that out a little bit. So if you see me walking around, I don't know how you're gonna know it's me. Well, I do.
Well, you talk a lot. As you're walking, you'll talk to yourself. Talk to the words "The Walking Dead" or "Talking Dead" or what have you. Maybe people recognize your voice.
Maybe, you never know. If you do, if you recognize my voice, come up and say hi. I might have something for you. That'd be sweet. So that's exciting. I'm arriving on Thursday, 13th. Gonna get to my hotel and then get right over there, try to pick up my badge. Because unfortunately, New York Comic Con won't mail out passes if you're not in the United States. Which means I gotta go and break the crowd and hopefully not have to line up for 8 hours to get my pass to get in.
Could be.
I don't know what it's like on their website. They did have a picture of a really large crowd, and that's got me a little
Well,
bit.
they're advertising how popular their colonies, right?
Of course.
You're gonna show a large crowd. You're gonna get there and be all these functions where you have to wind your way through like they do the airport. You're gonna be there, you're still gonna have to wind your way through and walk.
It's true, and I'm sure that picture of the crowd from Saturday. That's probably their big day, right? People don't have to work. They're all at the convention. I'm getting there Thursday night, go immediately to the place and hope I don't have to line up for 8 hours.
Bring some headphones.
I will. I plan to. So it's gonna be really great. I'm super looking forward to it. I'm gonna be here for 5 days, almost 5 full days. It's going to be awesome. Probably gonna go broke buying stuff and eating and just having a great time.
That sounds fun.
It sure does, doesn't it? All right, let's get right into the news this week, shall we?
Jump right in.
In the news. So here we go. The big news item this week is something we talked about last week, but at that time it was barely more than a rumor. And that is, of course, that AMC has now announced a Walking Dead talk show. And of course, they called it Talking Dead.
Yes, they have.
It's a great name.
I really like the name. So I'm going to put the in front of it, The Talking Dead myself.
Yeah, it's a little bit unclear as to whether it actually is what the official title is, the name of it, because some sites just report Talking Dead and some report The Talking Dead. So I don't know 100%.
Right.
We are The Talking Dead. I know that.
Yep.
We have been using that name for 2 years now, and we don't intend on changing it.
No, we don't change anything.
I would just like to say that. So I think Deadline first reported it, and from the article, they said the half-hour program produced by Michael Davies, MC Rowe, and hosted by Chris Hardwick will premiere on October 16, immediately following the encore presentation of The Walking Dead. Then beginning on Friday, November 4, the series premiere after The Walking Dead encore presentation at 11 p.m. They're confusing sentence there.
Yeah,
I'm
I think I parsed it.
I'm not sure exactly what it is. There's going to be an episode on October 16th after the season 2 premiere, and then maybe the talk show goes into full swing regularly on after the November 4th episode. Which wouldn't be episode 2, it would be a third one.
No, I think they said an encore presentation of the premiere. So I think the Talking Dead, I got to get the Talking Dead is going to be a week behind because that way they can the show airs on television and then they have a week to produce the talk show and air that with the encore presentation.
No, but the live talk show.
Oh, that's crazy.
I believe they're airing it right after the broadcast of that episode, so people call it.
Oh,
right, and it's live because it's live because the show's not live.
See, a show called Talking Dead. It's hosted by a guy named Chris.
Yep.
And where am I in all this? You know, is there Jason on there?
We'll have to find out. I don't know.
Feeling left out here.
Yep. Deadline also says previously rumored Chris Hardwick is hosting the show, providing recaps and interviews with cast and crew, as well as fans and television enthusiasts.
Oh, good television enthusiasts. I love television. We call it every week.
We fall into those categories, fans and television enthusiasts.
I am enthusiasm. No, enthusiastic
Enthusiastic about
That's
television.
enough. Thank you.
So,
Or is it another word? I don't know.
Go
Go
on.
on for words.
Yeah, I don't know. You speak for a living, but who knows?
Too much.
To go on, Chris Hardwick said, as an enormous fan of both the Walking Dead comic and television show, I pretty much begged for this job, dissecting the moves of Rick Grimes and the remaining survivors after every episode is something I would be doing with my friends anyway. So the fact that AMC is actually paying me to do so is a bonus.
Wow.
That is a bonus, isn't it? He must be very happy.
I'd be very happy in that design. So if he would do it with his friends anyway, why would AMC want to pay him? You don't have to pay him.
Sounds like they don't have to pay him, yeah. Just put him in his living room and see what happens.
That's right.
Won't be quite as
He should
engaging.
start a podcast. Is what you should do.
He has a podcast that's unrelated to The Walking Dead, however. And I always meant to listen to it. I must have been never gotten around to it. So we'll see. Finally, Joel Silverman, AMC Senior Vice President of Original Programming, Production, and Digital Content, said fans of The Walking Dead are incredibly engaged with every aspect of the show. They tweet, blog, and post comments in very large numbers and want to give them an opportunity to interact with the show in a way that they don't currently have. A kind of live water cooler.
Well, he obviously doesn't actually pay attention to the internet because there's a whole host of podcasts about the show and they do talk about it. They call in, they tweet, they do all this stuff. But in my humble opinion, they have this outlet currently.
Absolutely. They just don't have as direct a line to it as they would like. Right. There's us. There's at least 3 or 4 other Walking Dead related podcasts on the internet. They're all great. But AMC doesn't have a hand in any of those.
No, they need their thumb either. And the cookie jar. See, I was there.
Well, you're right. They want their hand in the cookie jar. So, yeah, and not that this is a very lucrative cookie jar for us or anyone else doing that I know of. Right? But,
That would be cool,
I mean, we'll see how the show goes. It could be good. I'm not going to certainly say it won't be great as it might be, but it also might be just pandering and an easy sort of cash grab. You know what I mean? Or just a way to promote what they're already doing and not really make it about actual discussion and analysis. Right. Which is what we try to do here.
I would think so.
Don't always succeed.
No,
That's what we
sometimes
try
we
to
talk about badminton for an awful lot.
yeah. Well, people listen to our 10 minutes of badminton talk last week. I apologize.
10 minutes. It's been a long time when we think about it. We're talking about it. And here we are talking about it again. That's what we're talking about. So okay, stop it.
So here's my bottom line question here. The fact that AMC is doing this, I don't have a problem with. They called it Talking Dead, which I don't have a problem with because, hey, it's a great name, and it's, if I thought about it, I would probably guess that they go with that name. Does this affect us at all in what we do right here every week?
That's a good question. I don't really know off the top of my head whether I can't predict whether it will affect us. It could have a positive effect because somebody could call in and say, "Hey, this podcast by this name already. What are you doing?" And I suggest that maybe one of you or I do that. But it could have a positive effect on us. More people talking about the show is good. Building hype, always good. Negative effect. Cease and desist letter.
They could. I'm not sure there's anything to base that on though.
Well, if,
we've been using the name perfectly validly for 2 years now, and they don't. They certainly don't own that. As far as I know, they may trademark it, but they don't really know. So it could. You're right. It could go either way. It could have a positive effect on us. It could have a negative effect. It almost comes down to how AMC decides to govern themselves. Right. If they want to come out and try to bully us into changing, that's not going to. I mean, it might happen, but it's not going to look good for them.
No, we don't
just like say that right now.
Yeah,
exactly. And if they do that, then we'll see what we have to do. But anyways, after the news was announced, at least a couple of people I think already mistook our Twitter account for an official Talking Dead Twitter account, right? Which so be it. I sent a tweet almost right away saying, everyone, look, we are the Talking Dead, we're not AMC Talking Dead. So if you're following thinking of that, then sorry, but please keep following. So we'll see.
Well, I think the bottom line for me is more discussion can't hurt.
True. So more discussion can't hurt. That's a good attitude. We'll leave it at that. I think and see how it goes. We'll certainly be watching, and who knows, maybe we'll try to interact with the AMC Talking Dead. We're gonna have to come up with a way of referring to us versus them.
The Talking Dead.
Well, I know the Talking Dead over there. So AMC Talking Dead.
There we go.
All right. So next item news this week, Entertainment Weekly has a season 2 preview in their September 30th issue. So the biggest, so in this article, there's a lot of information about season 2, the premiere, what's going to be happening. There's also a lot of information about what happened with Frank. We get some reaction from cast and crew, and also most notably Mazzara, the showrunner. And here's apparently how it went down when Mazzara had to come in and tell everyone. He said, as if taking over the reins from the man who brought him in wasn't difficult enough, then Mazzara had to meet with the cast fiercely loyal to their former boss. Mazzara said, I met with the cast a day after everything went down, and I met with them privately. It was a scary meeting, and I came in and it was honest about my mixed emotions. So at first, it was a lot of confusion, and people thought, well, maybe Glenn's responsible. Then I wanted to take over the show. Once I told them that was not true, and explained how I was working with Frank, and we were executing his vision of the show, I think they felt comfortable, and they saw I was able to, I was new territory as much as they were. So, I guess he said he met everyone sort of privately, and made it clear that he wasn't taking the show over. He was simply stepping into a new position because it became available.
Right? That's smart thing to do. Well, yeah, sure or not, that's smart thing to do.
Absolutely. The article goes on to say, the key moment for Mazzara was what happened next when the new showrunner then had to speak to the entire crew for the first time. I had to go out and address the crew and the cast said to me, don't go until we can be there with you. We want to stand behind you. And that was really a beautiful moment because I didn't have to do that, and I had only met them face to face a few times. Some of them I had never met. So here I was standing before a crew trying to say that we'll get through this crisis, and the cast rallied around me, and that really meant a lot to me. So that's nice. That is nice. I mean, again, who really knows how it went down? But that's what his story is, and it probably was something similar to that, right?
I think it's a very pretty story.
He's coming into a pretty difficult situation, and that's probably the best way to handle it. Tell people one at a time, explain what's going on. Don't try to make anything up. Just be frank with everyone, and sort of realize the fact that people are going to be concerned and a little bit worried about what the hell's going on.
Absolutely.
So probably couldn't handle it any better. John Bernthal was probably the most candid about his feelings when he said, "This will always be Frank's show." Says Bernthal to Shane, "This is Frank's creation. Frank is heart and soul, and as far as I'm concerned, he always will be." That might piss some people off to hear that, but Frank is all over the second season.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, he was part of the writing of the entire second season. His influence is still there. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. His influence is all over it. Probably even more, more than we think it's going to be. It's definitely going to be in the first half, and I would say probably well into the second half of the season, maybe all the way through.
Right, because the entire, the story arc of the entire season was set before each of the individual episodes were written. So he had his hand in how the whole season is going to be structured, for sure, regardless of whether he was actually responsible for the day-to-day writing of the actual scripts.
Yeah, I think they'd written, I read somewhere up to episode 7 maybe when all this went down. So that's 2/3 of it right there, or so. And the rest, I think, was probably already mapped out. They just hadn't sort of put all together yet. So finally, Robert Kirkman said in the article, "Look, it's definitely not easy. Frank was a very big part of the show from the get-go, and it's definitely not an overstatement for me to say that he changed my life. I was a comic book writer before this existed, and now he's a comic book writer and a comic book publisher and a TV producer and writer and everything else he's doing, video game guy. So
board games, card games.
Yeah, he's got a lot going on. So
novels.
Certainly nobody is talking down Frank Darabont. As they would anyways, but I think we're starting to get a little bit more a bigger picture on kind of what actually happened, or at least the way everyone reacted to it. And it sounds like they all came together and reacted as well as they possibly could. And hopefully it's not going to affect the show too much.
I hope not.
In a negative way. Anyways, you know what? Maybe the show will get really way better now. Who knows? Maybe Frank's holding back somehow. Somehow. All right. So the rest of that's not fun. The Frank Darabont stuff. There's more in this Entertainment Weekly article that we need to get to. Some of it's kind of spoilery. So not that we ever shy away from spoilers, but there's some stuff in here. There's at least one point that kind of reveals something we've been speculating on for some time. Yeah. So here's a real from It's a sweltering June day in Atlanta as the heroes of the Walking Dead speed away from the just exploded Center for Disease Control. As the caravan peels off Cobb Gallery Parkway, that's the real name of the highway, I guess. The jeep belonging to Shane Walsh, John Bernthal, which was bringing up the rear stalls and dies.
Oh, no.
Not good. Zombies who can lure to the area by the sound of the detonation converge in a lone living human as he honks and waves frantically the rest of the now disappearing caravan.
They should pay attention.
Yeah, they should. So turn off the stereo down, taking your honk. Shane grabs his shotgun and exits the vehicle. The zombies, more than 30 of them, are practically on top of him now. The end looks near. So what I'm thinking is that description there is what the reporter for Entertainment Weekly saw when he was on set that day. Right. What I think they're describing is what we saw in the San Diego Comic Con trailer right at the beginning. So Shane is backing away from the zombies with the shotgun and looks rather panicked.
We have the sound of breathing and running. Yeah, that's your mind as well. I think that will match up with that scene really well.
For sure. So it sounds like Shane gets separated from the group.
That's not a good thing.
Right away. When we open this episode, they're driving along. This is probably the first thing that happens.
Sorry, so if you're ever in a zombie apocalypse and you're with the caravan, and the caravan is moderately well armed like this one is, if you bring out the rear, don't be separated.
Yeah, stay with it.
We should put this as a rule. It should be rule number 7. Do not get separated from the group.
Later on in the article, after having read all that, they seem to indicate that this scene may actually have been cut from the episode, however.
Okay.
So the reason I read it is because I want to talk about the fact that it wasn't in the trailer. But it says here in the article, Steely Sheriff's Deputy Rick Grimes and Rick Lincoln and company do make it out of Atlanta, even though Shane's dramatic escape, which resulted in Bernthal puncturing his cornea in 3 places, ended up on the cutting room floor. So there's more trouble lurking at the countryside, however, beginning with what just might be the series' most gruesome scene yet. Hint, ever seen what the inside of a zombie looks like.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so
they've shown that many times.
I'm sure it'll be gory, but probably nothing too bad. This super gore inside of a zombie thing will probably be the season 2 equivalent of White Girl from season 1. Right. The worst thing you can imagine.
Well, this kind of thing sounds like if it was exceedingly gruesome, that the reason it ended up on the cutting room floor is AMC pulling back and going, whoa, there. I don't think we want to show that, and therefore we have to cut this whole scene.
But it's not the gruesomeness that was cut as far as I can tell from here. It's Bernthal escaping. That seems to be what's saying here. Maybe we got part of the scene and not another part of it. Remember last time too, everyone who saw the pilot already did seem to report that this is just ultra gruesome. Right. Now things can change. Right? That wasn't really it. Maybe we're done yet. So who really knows? So but we'll find out. Okay, now here everyone is what I think probably one of the bigger spoilers from this article. So if you're totally not into it, then skip ahead a little bit. But we talked a fair bit about how the season's going to play out, where our characters are going to get to, the timeline it's going to take when they get there, how long they're going to stay in place, and so on. Mostly revolving around Herschel's farm. Right. The article here says a shocking development at the end of the premiere will lead the group to the farm of Herschel Green played by Scott Wilson.
Well, you know what that is.
Exactly. Carl, according to everything here, is going to get shot at the end of the premiere, and they're going to basically get to the farm by the end of the first episode, maybe the second one.
That makes sense.
Does it? That seems awfully quick. I mean, think about it. We've got to get away from CC, which granted won't take long, but maybe take a little bit longer if the chain scene's actually there.
We've got 9 minutes to play with.
That's true. We've got to get through the whole highway zombie attack scene, which I imagine is going to play out, for a little while in that episode.
Right.
If indeed they end up going to Wilshire Estates, if they keep sort of in that order of things, we're going to have to get through that part, and then get into the forest and have Carl get shot by what's his name, and then end up going to the farm.
They may switch things up though, right? There's no reason to have Wilshire Estates before Herschel's farm.
It's true. Wilshire Estates would play a different role if it's there all. Right. They could be at the farm, go out looking for supplies, and come across housing development full supplies. Who knows?
I hope because Wilshire Estates, the location didn't come up until after the filming. Like, I don't necessarily film order, but the information about that location didn't come up until after we already knew who was cast for Herschel's farm. We knew what was being shot in the first episode, but the escape from the CDC, life on the road, hanging on the cars, eating sandwiches, that kind of thing.
Right. Sandwiches and cars.
So I mean, it does seem a little quick as far as how the comic book progressed, but from everything we talked about, and even about the budgeting discussions about outside versus inside, you've got this 90-minute episode which is taking place primarily outside. If not all of it is outside, you got to get inside. Right? Wilshire Estates is all outside as well, so maybe shaking things up outside. So Herschel's farm, that beginning of the episode is primarily going to be inside.
Yeah, you think so? They get there and hide indoors for a while.
Yeah, then you got to take care of Shane. Shane got to take care of Carl, and I think that's primarily the insights. So everything we talked about now, it kind of makes sense.
And I suppose the biggest mistake you can make is trying to predict what's going to happen on the TV show by following the events of the comic book.
Right.
They're inspiration. They're not a blueprint. They are a blueprint. They're not exactly what's going to happen.
So in the comic book, it took 16 years to get to the CDC.
16 whole years.
That's my prediction.
Yeah, exactly. It just feels to me though like it's still a little quick. I mean, when I think I originally predicted that we would end up at this was only last episode of 1 before that we have a couple episodes of them kind of on the road.
Yeah.
Then they get to the farm and maybe we have 1 or 2 episodes of the farm before the Christmas break, and something would happen, and that's to be some sort of hangover before the break. And the reason I felt that way is that I thought the farm represents at least a small hope of salvation, right? And if you get there too early, you haven't really built up the desperation yet. Like if they're on the road for 3 episodes, which stands 4 weeks, something like that, they have no food, they're starving, they're being attacked by zombies, they're running out of ammo, they've got almost nothing left, and then that's when you introduce this sort of turn to provide a little more hope. But doing that in one episode, 9 minutes feels like it might be a little quick.
Think so?
Well, to me it does, but you know what? They're better at writing TV than I am, so they'll probably come up with
Really, script. You never tried. You ever tried writing script?
No, I have not.
Maybe you're great at it.
I suppose that's possible. Probably unlikely. So anyways, we'll see. In general, it casts a doubt on whether or not they're going to wheelchair states and if they do, what the role of that sort of community is. And it just goes to show that whatever we predict here means nothing.
Yeah, absolutely.
It totally means nothing. Finally, from this Entertainment Weekly article, a little bit more in the spoiler department. Let's look kind of more information here. They say in the Secrets of the Spoilers department, later this season, we'll find out what was whispered into Rick's ear right before the CDC blew up. So there, we're not going to find that out right away, but probably it sounds like we're going to get to the farm, everything's going to calm down, and then Lori and Rick are going to have a little talk.
Right.
We'll also see the one-handed and left for dead Merle Dixon, who will at some point, but not Rick's walkie-talkie buddy Morgan, by Melanie James.
Oh.
That kind of bums me out a little bit. I really like Morgan. I really like Melanie James.
Morgan doesn't show up until later in the comic book as well, right?
It's true. He comes back much later in the comic, so that's fine. It is fine, but personally, I would rather see Morgan sooner than Merle Dixon again.
I think the length of time for Morgan is important. Like there's a lot of stuff that happens in Morgan's life between when Rick first sees him and when he shows up again. So I think that length of time is important.
You make a good point. I absolutely agree with that. I just like the character better than I like Merle Dixon's character.
Well, yeah, I think Morgan's going to show up. Oh my God, I got no hand, and he's going to die. And he'll do that.
Probably because
He'll get there off and he'll throw spores at somebody and maybe he's cross kill somebody.
I've always felt that Michael Rooker, while fantastic, amazing, lovely guy, was a little bit of stunt casting for Walking Dead. They brought him in. Let's say because he's a great actor, fair enough, he certainly is, but he's also Michael Rooker.
Yeah, they need a name.
It was like he was in town. Oh, we can't pass up this opportunity. Let's film a scene with him working somehow. Right? So too bad we're not going to see Morgan this season, but hopefully someday. Finally, while readers of the comic book will be saddened to learn that vile villain governor won't be making an appearance this go round this season, I guess. Producers hint that we may meet up with katana sword wielding fan favorite Michonne.
Oh, sweet.
They always said that she wouldn't be coming on board until season 3.
Yep.
Maybe she's going to show up at the end of season 2.
She's going to show up in the last episode.
Well, this sort of indicates to me that they're thinking about changing up a great deal because we know in the comic she shows up at the prison long after our group has made it to the prison and have established themselves there. Yep. Long after, but they're there already. I don't see that happening this season, so she's probably going to show up at the farm somehow.
I don't know what the farm. They could get all the way to the prison. It's possible.
I don't know.
We heard about the location filming though at this point.
You would think so, and the prison is such a big deal. Once they get there, they are there.
Yep.
And again, we don't even know if the show's going to go that way, right? We have no idea. But if they do, they're going to take their time to get there. I feel because once they're there, it becomes a stay at the prison show. The zombies become even more of a background element because they're safe for a while, safe-ish for a while. So we'll see. It's exciting that Michonne might be in there. Everyone wants to see her.
Well, maybe she'll just show up for like a little cameo thing. She'll show up with a couple of zombies on chains and then kind of go, yeah, you guys are lame, and leave.
Oh, can you imagine if they did that? People would be pissed.
Yeah, and then that could be, oh no, she's gone, and then have her show up in season 3.
Oh, it's true. They could do that. Bring her in for an episode, and then she leaves on her own, and then meet up with her again later, like seasons or months or years later.
Maybe she shows up. She shows up with a group of people.
Yeah.
Right? She's with another group that they meet and they talk with and they go separate ways, sort of like the Vatos. And then season 3 she shows up all by herself. Well, that gives her more deeper backstory.
That's true. I don't know. Maybe something like that. I think if she comes and then leaves, people could be upset.
Oh, can you imagine? Obviously, we got the couple of pictures here that Michonne showing up with her couple of zombies in tow. I'm just thinking, if in season 2 she shows up with a group of people, and in season 3 she shows up with 2 zombies in chains, we recognize the zombies.
That'd be cool.
Of some of the people that she was with.
That would be very cool. Armless zombies that she's got walking around for protection.
So not only did she find a couple of zombies just to master smell and sound and stuff like that, she did that to people she knew.
Well, maybe they just got killed in another way.
First. Yeah. So they wouldn't act about them. Okay, no, if you die, you come back as a zombie, which is sorry, other spoiler.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. You should write a script.
Oh no. I can barely talk or spell. It's bad.
Yeah, really. Okay, next item in the news, we have a new actor joining the cast of The Walking Dead. A guy by the name of Michael Zegan, or Zegan. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. He will be playing a new character who's not from the comic named Randall.
All right, Randall.
According to the again Entertainment Weekly report that I read, they said Randall is described as a skinny Southern kid who finds himself in a rather unique set of post-apocalypse circumstances. So who knows what that could mean?
He's a rapper. He's on stage and he's stuck because the sound of the speakers is so overpowering that the zombies can't actually get onto the stage. So he's got to keep rapping in order to survive.
You just come up with that now?
Yeah, it's unique, isn't it?
Randall the rapper?
Yeah, Randy Rapper. That's his name.
Whatever you say there, buddy.
Still TV?
Nope, not anymore.
Well done.
So Michael Zegan's previous work included Rescue Me. He had a big role in that show, which I've never
Oh,
seen.
that's why I recognize him.
Seen Rescue Me?
Yeah, I've watched all of it.
He plays firefighter, apparently.
Yeah, he plays the son of a firefighter and firefighter.
Okay.
He's really good in the role.
Cool. So I've never seen, well, I have seen him in Adventureland, but I don't recall him from Adventureland. He was also in the Cameron Diaz movie The Box from a year or 2 ago.
I don't know if I saw that.
No,
I remember it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Push a button, someone dies.
That you don't know, or yeah, was it?
Yeah, you get the box. You push a button, you $1 million. But some of you don't know that. Push the button. Here's my money.
Wow, no moral dilemma for you.
I don't know if I do that.
All right.
Anyway,
So we'll see who Randall is. We'll find out about his unique situation. But if anyone has any thoughts on him as an actor or some of the past stuff he's done, or any speculation about who Randall might be or what his unique post-apocalypse circumstances are, just call or send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. So we all know that The Walking Dead: Rise of the Governor is coming out soon in paperback, or probably hardcover and audiobook format. But a new press release was delivered, and there's some more information about the book from the press release. This is the story of Philip Blake, his daughter Penny, and his brother Brian, along with 2 of Philip's friends. The ragtag group of survivors attempt to make it to the night that the zombie apocalypse rages around them. But as their journey becomes more and more dangerous, Philip will realize that he must do whatever it takes to save his friends and family and his own soul in the process. So there you go, Walking Dead: Rise of the Governor. We're going to find the backstory of Philip Blake, the governor. Very exciting, and his daughter, of course, who we sort of know what happens to her in the comic. We talked about last week before that it's going to be released on October 11th, and there will be an audiobook version. And apparently the audiobook is narrated by 4-time winner of the Audiophile Earphone Award, Fred Berman. Do you know Ernest Berman?
I do not know Mr. Fred Berman.
Right, we should find him on, we'll find out a couple samples of his work and see what he sounds like. But he won the Audiophile Earphone Award 4 times. He obviously knows what he's doing.
Well, I would hope so.
I would hope so too. Okay, some more exciting news here about Greg Nicotero's web series. It will be starting on October 3rd on AMC.com. But the most exciting thing here is what the subject matter will be.
Oh, yeah?
We didn't know anything before this. Apparently, it will be the backstory of everyone's favorite first season zombie, Bicycle Girl.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think so too. We're going to find out what happens, how she ends up in her state when Rick finds her and ultimately shoots her in the eye.
That's great.
I think it's going to be really good. There's no official word on whether Melissa Cowan, the actress who played Bicycle Girl, will reprise her role.
That'd be good.
But I certainly hope she does. I would love to see her in an expanded role, even though it's for online. Who cares?
Yeah, okay.
She was so good at that zombie. All she had to do was crawl along and look horrific. Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to turn out really well. I think it'll be the kind of thing that's just totally fun to watch, and just see sort of the evolution of this character. Announced on the same day as that information is that Greg Nicotero and his team at KMVFX won an Emmy for their work on The Walking Dead for Best Prosthetic Makeup.
Awesome.
So that's the first big time award win for the show. They won other stuff, lots of stuff, up for lots of other awards, but this is an Emmy. This is a big deal.
Yeah, okay.
They didn't get, as we all know, any writing, directing, or acting nominations for Emmys. But really, if you're going to give an award for Best Prosthetic Makeup, I'm not going to say there was no competition. No one else is in this league.
I'm trying to think of other shows that had prosthetic makeup.
And I don't mean that there are no shows that have this kind of makeup. However, The Walking Dead and Nick Carroll is obviously a master at this.
No kidding, yeah.
So congratulations to him. That's the web series that's coming on October 3rd. It's going to be back for Bicycle Girl. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah,
Very cool.
we'll definitely report on that.
We had Melissa on again over a year ago before the first season aired, and she was very pleasant and great person to have on. So we'll see if she can come on again.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Okay, we got more news this week. Voting is now open for the Reaper Awards. Yeah, the Reaper Awards honored the best horror and thriller titles on DVD and Blu-ray for the past year, and it will be announced on October 24th. Voting is underway and runs through October 16th. The Walking Dead is up for 2 categories: Best Collection and Best Extras.
Well, that'd be awesome.
Well, they do have the best extras. I hope they do have the best extras. I think they need DVD extras though.
I was like, what other show makes your extras go to school before they can be actors in the show?
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true. I think since this was a DVD release,
Right,
there's content on the DVD.
in that case, what other show has the creator of the original creator of the series in a dump truck full of bodies?
That is true.
Yeah,
That's
no
very
other
true.
show's going to do that for you.
Dump trucks full of bodies.
Yeah.
So there you go. You can go to reports.com to submit your vote. I recommend that you do. Finally, last item in the news this week, and just a quick one. The Walking Dead Season 2 will premiere in the UK on October 21st at 10 p.m. on FX. Just thought I'd throw that out there for anyone who's in the UK listening and hadn't heard the news yet.
Yep.
That is a week later than here in the States, here in North America, I should say. And I think that was about the same as Season 1 too. They were a week behind.
You're close.
Yeah. Technically, they advertised it premiered simultaneously around the world in all these different markets, but they first staggered a little bit.
Well, yeah, there's time zones to take into consideration. And,
Sure.
different planets have different dates and stuff. If you're staggered by weeks, because the UK is on a completely different planet than North America.
Some people argue that, yes.
Well, it's the only nation I can think of.
Not me.
If they were on the same planet, they'd be the same day, wouldn't they?
They obviously are one of those planets where their month is shorter than their day or something crazy like that.
That'd be kooky.
That would be weird. Okay, everyone, we are going to take a short break right now. When we come back, first thing we're going to do is announce our contest running for the next few weeks, so you aren't going to want to miss that. We've got some really good prizes. And of course, we've got our Walking Dead actor spotlight on Noah Emmerich. So thanks for listening. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Don't be afraid. The hell's not that big. And I love to steal umbrella. Inside, by, go outside. Let go be in time of day. Let go be in time of day.
For you, the listeners of Talking Dead Podcast, Audible is offering a free audio book download with a free 14-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Jason, do you have a recommendation this week for us?
I do. This is a book I read, an actual novel that I found picking up and listening to for a second run through. It's called World War in the Balance by Harry Turtledove. And this is an alternate history type thing. In the middle of World War II, aliens invade, and they show up, and the world has to band together to fight off this alien invasion.
It's an interesting idea. What's dividing us one minute is kind of bringing us together the next.
Right. So this alien race shows up a couple hundred years ago to assess whether or not this planet is good for invasion. They see people riding around horses in armor, fighting swords like, yeah, it's going to be a cakewalk. They go get ready to come back to their invasion scene. All of a sudden, humans have missiles and planes and tanks and machine guns. And they're like, holy crap, these people progress way faster than we could even possibly imagine.
Well, a lot can change in all those years. I mean,
Not this race. This race takes thousands and thousands of years just to change the design of the tank. So they're completely overwhelmed by our capabilities of progress.
well, that sounds really cool. I haven't heard that book, but we'll have to check that
It's
out.
the first book in the series. It's a very good series. It's a World War series. It's called In Balance. So this was I thought it was one actually. It's on my wish list. It has a runtime of 1 hour and 33 minutes.
Very cool. To download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/talkingdead. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/talkingdead for your free audiobook.
I left one by the door, like. Left one by the door. It's too late to say goodbye. It's too late to ask for more. I left one by the door, like.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back. So as I promised, we're going to announce our contest. We've got some stuff to give away, and after that, we're going to do our actual spotlight on Noah Emmerich. So the details of the contest, Jason, are such: we are asking our listeners to visit iTunes and submit an iTunes review of the show. What we hope to do is, if you more in there, must admit, I haven't looked for a while, but we want to get as many as we can in there, just generate some reviews, and hopefully have someone there to notice.
That'd be nice.
It would be really great. So as you can see, this contest is entirely self-serving.
Of course, all contests are really.
Well, you're absolutely. So what we're asking you to do is go to iTunes, submit a review of the show. 5-star reviews are fantastic. We're not guaranteeing that. We're not asking for that.
No, just go and submit a review, whatever review you want, and that's all fair. Just go and voice your opinion.
Voice your opinion. Just do it on the iTunes review section. Hopefully, you love us enough that you will go and submit a favorable review. So what are we giving away? Well, we got 3 things in the prize pack here. The first is the Walking Dead issue number 88 special Toronto Fan Expo exclusive cover. So that's pretty cool.
It's not just a cover. It's the actual, it's the actual issue, just the special cover.
There you go. It's the whole issue number 88, which is a couple issues ago, and it's got the Toronto Fan Expo exclusive cover on it. So, yeah, we've also got a autographed Tony Moore print of Michonne, and I will put pictures of these up on the website if I can find my scanner.
or a picture with your phone.
There you go. Take a picture with my phone. This is a print. It's not an original artwork by Tony Moore, but it is autographed by Mr. Moore himself. So you will get that.
The artwork is Michonne showing up with 2 armless zombies in tow and chains. It is phenomenal. I love this thing. It was a heart-wrenching decision to either keep this or give away in a contest, and we came to the conclusion that we should give away in a
Yeah,
contest.
Jason made the informed decision that he would rather one of our listeners have it than him, and so you lucky winner, one of you may be able to see this. I'm also going to throw in a copy of Stranger, which if anyone's been listening for a while is of course Dave's comic, friend of the podcast, Dave's. He got a whole bunch printed out and he's been giving them out and selling them and stuff like that. So if you want a printed copy of issue number 1 Stranger, you're gonna get one of those too. It's a very cool comic, so you should be excited about that as well.
Limited edition first printing.
That's right. It's not going to get any more limited or first than this.
More first printing than this.
That's right. To make things even more exciting, we'll be choosing 2 winners. Each of whom will receive this prize pack. So the print, the Walking Dead number 88 special edition cover, and a copy of Stranger.
I want to win. Can I review it?
You can, but you're not going to win.
I'm going to help choose the winner, so I can choose me.
There's no actual criteria for what you posted. We said we are simply going to take all the reviews that are on iTunes and put them in a hat and pick 2 winners. Right.
Hopefully we don't pick a winner and give us 1 star. You guys are complete and utter garbage. Do not listen to them.
Yeah, hopefully not.
Thank you for the review. Here's your prize tag.
Good luck. Honesty is good though. Honesty is good, absolutely. So there you go. Go to iTunes, submit your reviews. The deadline and the winners will be chosen on season 2 premiere night. That is the 16th of October. So even before then, we'll be on more podcasts between now and then. We'll remind you then to do as well. But go submit your reviews. Really get the chance to win this great prize pack. All right, next, Walking Dead actor spotlight with Noah Emmerich. He of course is the actor who played Dr. Jenner in the Center for Disease Control. So we've gone through all the actors and done these quick spotlights on them. So as we get close to season 2, we run out of people to spotlight. Frankly, that's kind of what it comes down to. Not that Noah Emmerich deserves anything less, but he was certainly a guest star on the show. But like I said, deserves nothing less. So we decided to watch one of his past films. And of course next week, which is the last podcast before the premiere, we're doing Michael Rooker. We decided to watch one of his, which I'll remind everyone about in a little while. So Noah Emmerich, we watched Miracle, directed by Gavin O'Connor, starring Kurt Russell as Herb Brooks, Patricia Clarkson, and of course Noah Emmerich as Frank Patrick. Jason, what's the summary for this movie?
I switched my thing here. I was expecting you to read it, and then so I switched away from the.
I can give you something to do once in a while.
Miracle tells the true story of Herb Brooks Russell, playing player turned coach who led 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team to victory over the seemingly invincible Russian squad. Squad? Is that your word, or does it come from?
No, sports teams are often referred to as squads.
Okay, I didn't know that the Russian, the national Russian hockey team would be referred to as squad.
Well, maybe not in Russian, but in English, they can be a squad.
Okay.
So Noah Emmerich plays assistant coach Frank Patrick. He of course is a real person. This movie is based on true events and real people. I don't know. When you have a movie like this, there's always a balance of what is really sort of true life and what's fictionalized a little bit for dramatic effect. Right. I don't really know what the balance is in this film.
One thing I really hope for is that the pants that Kurt Russell wore were true life. Those are some great pants.
Oh, yes, he had a lot of plaid pants.
Plaid pants, a suit jacket, just something, a white belt, just that kind of thing just speaks to me.
Well, it was 1980, so it was basically still the 70s.
Yeah.
And
It was essentially Herb Parley, the way I saw in this movie.
Herb Parley. Well, yeah, Herb Brooks or Herb Parley.
Yeah, they kept calling her Herb. I just kept drawing parallel. Herb Parley coach in the hockey team.
The movie, I pretty much love this movie. I had seen it before. We decided to do this at least twice before, and I kind of put it off a little while in the last 2 weeks when I was supposed to be watching it. And then Saturday night, a couple nights ago, it was almost midnight. I'm like, I should go to bed, but I'm going to put it on all at the beginning of it. And I'll finish tomorrow. I put it on, got stuck in, watched the whole movie. It was up till like 2:30 in the morning.
Okay, this is I was thinking about this watching the movie. I'm trying to think of other sports movies that I've seen. Like this is not by a small margin. This is my favorite sports movie that I've ever seen of all time. Like, Mystery Alaska was a great movie.
I like this movie more.
Yeah. This movie just I love this movie.
Well, partly because it's such a great story and it's a true story. It's one of those things where if someone just came up with this and wrote it, it would be a fantastic story. The fact that it really happened in real life is just phenomenal. Mystery Alaska, another really good movie that I enjoyed quite a bit, another hockey movie. But it's completely fiction.
Yes, absolutely fiction.
But so,
and if it was fiction, they would play the Russians in the Golden No round. They wouldn't play them for bronze.
yes, exactly.
So they beat the Russians, then they have to go on and win the gold.
Yeah, which you don't even see in the movie at all. They win it. But you're right, because as you said, the Russians were seemingly invincible. So that's sort of the miracle on ice that they call it. Did you notice at the very end of the film, throughout the final game there, and I guess all the games in the movie, you have a color commentator doing some of the play-by-play, intercut with other stuff, of course. But the line at the end where he says they won because you believe in miracles, that was the original color commentator saying that, not the one that's in the movie.
Yeah, no, I knew that.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that going into this viewing, so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, pretty fun. Anyway, ways. So Noah Emmerich, Craig Patrick, great character. He's a real guy. What's so great about him is he's kind of the Herb Brooks is the overbearing sort of leader of this team. He's not head coach. He's not players' friends. They're supposed to hate him because working so hard. He's not their friend. Craig Patrick plays the guy who's supposed to kind of be their friend. Yet become part of the team, be friendly with the guys, and if anything comes up, work it out amongst themselves.
From what I know, this is that technique is used in the military for military training. Even when they fight Norwegian teams at the beginning, weren't paying attention to the game. And at the end of the game, they had to escape the lines. They get blown whistles saying again, doing that back and forth to their work on the beyond exhaustion. I actually saw this technique when I was in basic training for the reserves back when I was 17. They actually use this technique when you do something wrong, and they usually single out somebody and they work that stuff a bit, the quarterback until he's beyond exhausted, right? And they do this hell of a training technique. Like it really does make you want to perform better.
Well, it solidifies the relationships in the movie. It makes you hate your coach. But the assistant coach who's there, he's going along with it, but he's your friend. He's doing it luckily. He doesn't want to do it.
And that distinction is also very important. I remember having a head drill instructor. He hated that guy, right? But the lower ranking guys, they follow along. They just know they obey orders, but they were a little more caring, making sure you take care of, making sure your socks are changed, and you got water and the food and that kind of thing. The drill instructor, you hated that guy because he was trying to kill you, but the sergeant was, he was trying to keep you alive at least.
For sure. And I think Emmerich did a great job in that role. Like I anyways got the idea, I really got the feeling that he kind of was friendly with these players, even though it was almost a bit of an act for him because he was really just part of the coaching team, right? The coaching group. But he did a great job. Tracy Clarkson's really good in the movie too, in the small role of Herb Brooks' wife, right?
Yeah, I mean, they showed the disrupts the family life because he's doing the same for the US hockey team, and really kind of brought up his home life for a little while. So I thought that portraying that aspect was important as well.
That's a common thing in like sports coaching characters. They seem to always be so dedicated to the team, and it always screws up their home life a little bit.
I think that's a common theme in North American culture, and you see that a lot. Where if you're doing something important or you feel is important, you sacrifice your home life. You sacrifice, going home at 5 o'clock. You stay at work. You get the job done because you're doing it for king and country, but not king, just country. So I think that's a North American thing in general.
It could be, but I mean, especially with sports, I find it.
All lawyer movies, you work 80, 90 hours when you first start. And there's always another big case and that kind of thing. You always sacrifice in order to, because you're trying to get somebody to not go to jail. You're trying to make them have to go to jail or whatever. I think it's more general in sports, but yeah, in this movie in particular, they showed that aspect of sacrificing for the greater good.
The movie was so authentic too. Kurt Russell's accent, like he says, pants, his hair, everything about it just felt like it was perfectly torn out of the late 70s, early 80s. The players were all great. The mustaches and the way they looked and spoke, and it was really good. That scene we were talking about too, where they had to escape the lines and the lights went out and so on. I've always wondered if that's actually happened. If that's based on real life. Yeah, maybe. Like that's one of those scenes where you almost can't believe what happened, but on the other hand, maybe it did.
I've seen stuff like that.
Well, military, but military. That sports team while close isn't the military, so I don't know.
Well, I think maybe the military way of training is something that he was inspired to, because you can bet $1 that the Russian team was using military method for training their people. So he wanted to beat the Russians at their own game, so he had to adopt that kind of way of training a team. And so I really think that was part of the overall plan.
Speaking of the Russians, I've often wondered too how sort of how authentic their portrayal was. I'm a big hockey guy. I've seen sort of the Canadian Summit Series from '72 where Paul Henderson and Team Canada beat the Russians, but I never really paid too much attention to their sort of what they're doing. And at the end of Miracle, when the Americans are winning and Herb Brooks says he doesn't know what to do because he's never faced this kind of adversity before. Yep. I wonder if that's actually true, or if he or if they sort of put that into the movie to kind of yell up the U.S. a little bit more.
I think I can go either way, but I'm leaning towards your way of thinking that they put that in. Because I think that responding to changing conditions is a military way of dealing with things. They're trained to deal with a changing, fluid landscape.
Yeah, and as a professional team and a coach, that's his job. He's got to know what to do if they're towards the end of the game, down by a goal.
But they said that early on in the movie. They said that one of their biggest weapons is intimidation. But they have lost the game in such a long time. They outclass everybody on the planet for crying out loud. They're not used to losing. And so going into that, I'm sure there is some of that. I'm not sure it's extremely apparent, but I'm sure it was there. Just like they put them off because you're used to, if you expect to win, you probably will win.
It's true.
If you really expect to win, all of a sudden it's not working, and it's worked so often in the past, it's gotta be unsettling.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure it is, especially the players too. It's typically the players that they're the ones on the ice or on the field or whatever. And if they're not used to things going a certain way, things can change. They go crazy. They go crazy. So great movie overall. I'll probably watch it again someday because it's just so entertaining. I love a hockey movie myself, more so than any other sport. So there you go. Go check out Miracle. It is a great movie. Noah Emmerich is great. He plays the role perfectly. I don't think it relates really to Walking Dead at all.
No, my favorite line from Noah Emmerich in the movie is when at the Christmas party, and they got the present, and he opened up the garden and said, "To Craig, that's beautiful, guys."
That's more of the players than him.
I know, but it was just, I thought it was, the way he executed that line was just, it was brilliant. It was much better than I portrayed it. It was just a really good line. It was my favorite line.
It's very good. He did a great job. Okay, so our next and final Walking Dead Actor Spotlight, as I said, is on Michael Rooker. Next time, this last podcast before season 2 premieres, we will be watching one of his earlier films, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I've never seen this movie before, so that should be very exciting for both of us, and hopefully it turns out good, and we got lots of good stuff to talk about for next time. And that is going to do it for number 54. Talking Dead, correct? Number 54. You got to remember it throughout the whole show. That's when I started at the beginning. A big thanks to Audible, our sponsor. If you want to go get a free audiobook and free trial, go to audibletrial.com/talking dead. And don't forget to enter our new contest. Go over to iTunes and iTunes reviews. We'll pick a couple winners from all the reviews submitted between now and October 16. We got some great prizes for that. And if you have anything else to say or want to comment on anything we talked about, why don't you give us a call on the Zone line at 1-866-483-ZOMB. That is 866-483-9662. It's a toll-free call. Give us a ring there. You can find us on Twitter at Talking Dead or Facebook.com/TheTalkingDead. Finally, if you want to send an email, you can do so to talkingdeadpodcast@gmail.com. And there you go. One more episode of this podcast before we're back in season 2. I'm going to be down in New York City for Comic-Con that weekend. It's going to be great. It's going to be a busy weekend. It's going to be a lot going on. You're going to New York. We're going to the show premieres. We're going to try to do a short podcast every night while I'm down there.
I'm moving that weekend.
Yeah, we got a lot going on.
Yeah,
good time. Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you again on Talking Dead number 55.
Bye.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook download at